Well, here we are. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great weekend, great holiday season. Uh, well, we're not going to go too far into it. I don't know how many of you actually read the magazine Guitar Player. It's been out for a long time. I used to read it a long time ago, and they actually were more factual in reporting. Read one today by some guy. They're talking about their top 25 stories for this year. And this guy is continually, quoted, but he doesn't actually get his facts right. Maybe he's only 12. I don't know. But he talks about how Clapton and all this stuff, but then how Beck and Page having who decided who wrote Bass Bolero, but they always say something about Clapton leaving to form Cream or formed Cream, and he did not. Everybody in the world knows that it was Ginger's idea. Even Jack Bruce admitted that Cream was Ginger's band. He's the one that put it together. He's the one that brought Clapton on. He's the one that got Jack. So the question is, how old were these people? I saw Cream twice when they came and toured, but they were together for that short period of time. I don't know. I mean, it's like you wonder, how they do their research, where they come up with these so-called fairy tales or missteps or whatever. Because if they're supposed to be writers, they need to be a little bit more careful in their fact reporting because that's the stuff. That's the reason I don't read that book anymore. That magazine. It's totally unfactual. Most of the stories are completely with that. I would guess most of these people are probably in their 40s or under, which means that they were in diapers when Cream came to America, if they were even born, and uh, and when that was happening. And to go back, they have a constant need to go back to uh, Beck, Page, Clapton. Most of the guitarists are already gone in some cases. Instead of talking about the people that are making the music now, I don't know if that's because they're just making like so good. They never probably even knew who Jeff Beck was until I don't know, maybe they were in their teens. It's like, and the same thing goes to the Yardbirds. I never saw the Yardbirds. I saw the Yardbirds. I saw Led Zeppelin before it was actually considered to be dubbed Led Zeppelin. But it's just kind of hard to understand why anybody would want to read a magazine that either get your facts right or don't. I'm sorry to see what I don't know what they write about anything else, and I don't really care. I don't know. I see the comes up now on my phone, and I read the article, and I'm thinking this is one of their top 25 stories of this year. Then get your facts correct. Hello. I don't think you guys know what that means. Because if you're writers, you're supposed to be professionals, then you should do some research. Maybe you should read not just Clapton's um, autobiography if you did, which was a whining piece of, poor Eric, blah, blah, blah. You should probably read Jack's, which is strictly about composition and why he wrote songs and how he did it, how he and Ginger did get together and have differences in the Alexis Corner blues band and Graham Bond. And actually, Ginger's is so, probably, he's funny. He's a funny guy. But he tells me flat out, like, Cream was his idea, and it was. Clapton's and then Jack certainly admitted it. So get your facts straight, okay? It was Ginger's band. Now, as far as some of the rest of the stuff that they did in there, I'm like, it's mediocre at the best. I mean, it goes on and on. They're telling you all this stuff that they know, which they don't know any of it. And whatever they're trying to cite as their sources is obviously not correct. Me, I don't play guitar anymore because of my hands. Arthritis gets to you. Why don't they write about somebody people that were guitarists, great guitarists like Roy Gallagher, Johnny Winter, uh, and there were many others in that vein. Those two guys that never got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You got 40 Gallagher blew Aerosmith off the stage, okay, when he did his tour with them. Uh, what does that tell you? And Johnny Winter carried the weight for a lot of people for a long time until he decided he did enough of the rock crap and went back to playing blues, which is what he did in the first place. If you've never heard the album, The Progressive Blues Experiment, then you don't know crap about rock or blues because Johnny Winter the whole thing around. What a genius. Okay. So let's talk about some more affairs of the day. Um, well, Christmas is over. I hope everybody had a good Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's is coming up. And I know what that's going to be like. But you can't cry about it. You just have to go with it. Me, I'm like one of those people that says, I don't have to go with crap. But I'll just ride it out. It's always something. It's always something different. Some people say, "Oh no, they'll get on the political crap." It's not going to change. It's the same stuff it always is. It's been that way ever since John F. Kennedy was. His father got Sam Giancana and the rest of the mafia to help him get elected. Okay, because their father was a bootlegger. Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't make any difference because there were some guarantees made that they didn't live up to. So what happened? Well, JFK and Robert Kennedy both got assassinated. It wasn't, if you want to say it was something else or something like that. Gosh, we don't make promises to people like Sam Giancana or Gino Fish or any of those people and not carry it through unless you're a fucking idiot. And they are. So there they were. But that's over. But since then, I mean, the political stance of our country has always gone in a different direction. Okay. Now we're strictly governed by millionaires, billionaires, and the same thing in Congress and the Senate. So if you don't like it, then you'll have to vote it out. I don't care because I'm not going to be here that month, but I always find it interesting that people complain and do protests and everything. That's not going to change anything. They'll vote these assholes out of fucking the hole. They have to vote them out, drain the swamp, and see what happens. You want to do something that actually affects people that are impoverished, the LGBTQ community, foreigners in general. If they're legal, it's one thing. I will admit that. If they're not, then it's a whole story. That's a whole other story because that's not what our system to cover. And sometimes it's distressing when you see that they make comments which they absolutely have no possibility of being able to take charge of, such as where I live. The governor says when he's doing his campaign, right, he's going to stop the deadly flow of fentanyl from China into the state. I'm thinking, how you do that? You got no power for that kind of crap. And he's going to secure the border. And I'm thinking, we're close to the damn border. But okay, that's fine. And then, of course, then they put somebody, I want to do the gerrymandering, and they put this woman in as attorney general. And they have nothing, actually, that doesn't go to public vote. And my question on that, if that's so, well, then what the hell are we doing in the first place? Because this is a country of the people, by the people, for the people. I didn't write the Constitution. I just know what it says. I know what it means. And they're going to sit there and tell you it's in the Constitution. It's not. It's not in the state constitution. It's not in the United States Constitution. I have copies of both. I think the thing everybody needs to understand is that you can't change anything with protest or complaints or whatever. You want to change something, you're going to have to get those people out. They're all lawyers and they're all liars and they're all manipulators, but they're doing it for themselves and their buddies and their constituents or whatever, not really their constituents at the time, unless they're millionaires or don't you realize you all the taxpayers take all the money. Why if you have any, hide it. Okay, so um no past that. I find Guitar Player and a lot of other magazines or rags, whatever you want to call them today, has been so misinformed, or the stories they tell are right are completely off, and they need to stick to something that they really know. You know, people that are gone. Okay, if you don't know the facts, start reporting them. Just like Manson said in an interview, I don't know why I'm going back to this, that he said, sorry, Ninja, but Cream was Jack's man. Well, that's probably just because Jack Pete Brown wrote most of their material. Can't argue with that. I don't think that's the stance that was completely taken, but that's the way it was. I think also at the same time that it's a lot about like bands today. We've gotten so far off in one direction. It's either punk or rap or bebop or hip hop or whatever. It's not bebop, that was Charlie Parker's thing, the Birds thing. But when Miles Davis died, I was into jazz. Everything else now is coffee shop and elevator music. It's boring. I don't even listen to it anymore. The key factor, I guess, what we're trying to talk about here, what we're off the map, and we're going to talk about Guitar Player, then we talk about political shit, which is exactly that's just political shit. My thing is I would like for someone to write some factual information. My youngest daughter is a poet and a writer, and she knows what she's talking about. She reads more than I do. We both read a lot. We're readers. We read something, and it's not right necessarily. We both have a real severe problem with it. And so that's why I don't read Guitar Player or the Rolling Stone or I guess Cream's gone because Lester Bangs is dead. I never even blew up to say. And, so in essence, I'm going to end it here with the fact of that if you don't like reading that stuff, go ahead. I'm not telling you not to understand. I find it incredibly researched and factual, and these people do not know what they're talking about. And if they can prove me wrong, then tell them to come on with it. Also, I will reiterate one more time that we're working. I am working with my daughter-in-law and my wife and several other people on establishing a record label that we're creating called Stomach Pump Records. Pump, not pump. Stomach Pump Records. It's a progressive psychedelic punk rock metal type of thing. And we're looking for other bands too. We're going to start branching out. As long as it's not country, it's not rap, it's not bebop or hip hop or any of that stuff, we're interested. Other than that, gonna have to pass. There are plenty of people that are out there that will take that stuff. But I grew up in Nashville. I only hear anything country. My dad wrote country songs. Oh, God help me. Okay. Hey, I'm going to sign off, guys. Listen, I hope you have a really great weekend. And I'm sure that I'll pop back on the screen sooner or later. If you have any comments, feel free to send them to my email, which is what should be on there. Or you can just comment on the Warrior Destroyer website. But it's always looking for ideas, looking to hear from people, to see what's happening. The world's changing, music's changing. As my good buddy Lee Michaels out in LA says, He don't want to hear those stuff anymore. He wants to listen to something new. Immediately, uh, so guys, hey, listen, thanks for tuning in, and see you next time. Bye bye.